We ready, Bola? Oh, no Bolas? Oh, there you are, okay. Welcome, everyone, to the November 22nd, 2021 Special Board of Alderman meeting. Would everybody please join with me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Here.
Alderwoman Tice. Here. Alderwoman Sims. Here. Alderman Waggy.
Here.
Alderman Gould.
Here.
Alderman Lockmiller.
Here.
Alderwoman O'Neill. Here. Alderman Shelton.
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you. First item is the approval of the agenda. Any changes to the agenda? Any objection to approving the same by acclamation? Seeing none, it will be so approved. Citizen comments, anybody in the public here to address the board, now is the time to do so. You will be given up to 3 minutes. We'll wait. Okay. Karen, can you hear us?
Yes,
Okay, the floor is yours.
great, thank you. Karen Smith, I live on Harrison. I tried to speak at the last meeting, but I don't think I got my hand up fast enough. But I think you're going to be working on redistricting our wards, and just wanted to make a few comments about that. My ward has been moved around a couple of times. I was in Ward 1 at one point, have been in Ward 3 most recently, and it looks like I may be moved over into Ward 2. And I do agree with the person who said that, the numbers are going to change every time we do a census. And my little ward seems to or my little area kind of gets moved back and forth. And ideally, would love to be able to stay in one ward. I think the other thing that kind of compounds our area is that it's just divided up oddly. We've got within my block I'm in Ward 3, across the block is Ward 1, and then down the street is Ward 2. So, we're kind of chopped up. And I know that we have these big, major heavily trafficked streets that kind of divide up our wards. And other than Ward 1, probably most wards have half of their ward on one side of these heavily trafficked streets and half of it on the other. But ideally, it wouldn't just be like one or two little streets so that you could kind of feel connected with the rest of your ward. So those are just some comments to consider. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Karen. Anybody else? Okay, then we will move on to item 5. I guess it is new business. We have 2 items under there. First of all, I want to thank the board for taking time out of your Thanksgiving weekend to meet. I'm sure there's other things you'd like to be doing, but as you all recognize, this is very important that we do this. So with that, can we get a first reading of ordinance number 6359 by title only, please? If there is one.
First reading and ordinance amending section 105.
Okay, great, thank you. In front of you, you've been supplied maps, and this is really for the benefit of the 2 aldermen who weren't able to attend the last special Board of Aldermen meeting. But you'll see we have option 2 and 3. There was an option 1, which was the staff recommendation, and the board at the last meeting decided not to go forward with that, but instead to focus on these 2 that are in front of you. So we had a rather lengthy discussion about the 2 options. Before we go into any more discussion, can we get I guess we would open it up for any type of questions for bill number 6359. We get a motion. Well, we would like to have a second read of Bill 6359 tonight because time is of the essence. Can we
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Can we get a motion to perfect 6315? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. City Attorney.
Just as option 2. Bill number 6359, second reading and consideration for adoption and ordinance amending section words in response to the 2020 decennial census.
And before we get a motion to perfect 6359 in ordinance form, just so the board understands how we're going to go about this, we have two competing ordinances. And the chair's preference is to take one of them up and see if it passes. If it passes, then the second one is moot. So that's how the chair is going to run this. With that, if we can get a motion to perfect ordinance number 6359, bill number 6359 in ordinance form.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion to perfect by Alderman Lockmuller, seconded by Alderman Gould. Any discussion? Yes, Alderman Tice.
I was fairly undecided last week when we met, and I'd have to say I am particularly persuaded by the citizen comment that we had tonight, that we also heard last week. That section has moved around a lot, and I feel like if they remain in a little bit more of that goes into Ward 3, they're contiguous with a lot of Ward 3 just to the south of them. And so I just wanted to express that opinion and that I appreciate the citizen comment on this.
Thank you. Anybody else? Alderman Lockmuller.
Of course, I'm in favor of option 2. I kind of like the way it supports the grade schools where the people of each ward attend. I also like the representation that's shown over by McGrath as the school board renovates that school, moves a lot of the Mark Twain over there after the renovation and renovates Mark Twain. And I think having the 3 wards meet there kind of reminds me of the movie Gangs of New York, the 5 Points. But we'd have 3, at least 6 of the aldermen there hearing from the residents of that area if there's any concerns about the school. So I'm in support of option 2.
Thank you. Anyone else? Alderman Gould.
Yeah, and given some thought to this, as we look at the priorities, I still come back to the population equity is number 1, and the fact that this option does create the most parity on population for each of the wards, in my opinion, provides a foundation for equal representation. So for that reason, I support option 2 as well.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Plufka?
No.
Alderwoman Tice?
No.
Alderwoman Sims?
No.
Alderman Waggy?
No.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderwoman O'Neill?
No.
Alderman Shelton?
Yes.
Motion fails. 1, 2, 3 yes. Vote is 3 to 5. Motion fails.
Okay, thank you. So then I guess we take up the second one, Mr. City Attorney, is that right? Is that procedurally the way?
Next order of business.
Okay, next order of business would be Bill number 6360. Can we get a first read by title only, please?
Number 6360, first reading and ordinance amending section 105.030 of the Brentwood City Code and establishing new wards in response to the 2020 decennial census. That may sound familiar to some of you.
Great, thank you. We would like to have a second read on this as well. Can we get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Can we get a motion to perfect Bill number 6360?
Said the
Oh, I'm
second
sorry,
reading
second
first.
reading. Yeah, that's right.
Bill number 6360, second reading and consideration for adoption of ordinance amending section 105 Brentwood City Code and establishing new wards in response to the 2020 decennial census.
Thank you. Now, board would, yes, go ahead.
Motion to perfect Bill number 6360.
Second.
Into ordinance form. Okay, great. Any discussion on that? Yes, Alderman Gould.
Yeah, I would just argue that the splitting it up like this doesn't necessarily, I don't think, represent Ms. Smith's concern. I think by having her neighborhood all in one is what she's most concerned about. But this one tends to zigzag around and create borders that create disparity in her area, so.
Thank you. Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Alderman Plufka,
Yes.
Alderwoman Tice,
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims,
Yes.
Alderman Weggie,
Yes.
Alderman Gould,
No.
Alderman Lockmiller,
No.
Alderwoman O'Neill,
Yes.
Alderman Shelton.
Yes.
By a vote of 6-2, the bill will be perfected into ordinance form, ordinance number 4993.
Great, thank you. And I expect the alderman who just received a number of new constituents to go door to door and welcome them to your respective wards. Thank you, everybody. With that, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.